All right, back in the shop today. Today I'm going to be focusing on trying to get this panel designed, put together, and mounted into the actual car here. That way we can mount the ECU, the new fuse box, circuit breaker, a couple other things on here. I ended up picking up this piece of sheet metal at Home Depot. It's just 22 gauge. I think it'll do the job for now, but ideally I'd like this to be a little bit thicker. It's a little bit flimsy, but it should hold everything decently, at least for this track day, and then I can redo it with a thicker piece if I need to. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this piece and mount it in here. I'm gonna need to cut it to length because clearly it's too long right now. I'm gonna cut it about 4 inches off of it on one end. This is a 2 feet by 1 foot piece of steel. So cut 4 inches off. I already did the measurements, and that should give me just enough to fit under this section here. And then I bought these little L brackets that I'll use to basically just bolt them in and then bolt the actual sheet to those L brackets. Pretty simple install, I think. It's just a matter of seeing if this is gonna be sturdy enough to hold everything. All right, I got the piece of steel cut to length. Now I got these little angled pieces with holes on each end. Basically just gonna be using these to mount the panel here. I'm just gonna drill down into the floor here, install some rib nuts, bolt these down. I'm gonna drill holes into the panel itself, bolt that in, do the same for up top, and then that should be good enough to secure it to the chassis, and then I can start drilling holes and mounting stuff onto the panel. All right, I got the panel mounted in. Of course, the top doesn't look too pretty because I just used the snips to basically cut this to shape. Again, this is just gonna be temporary. I'll end up doing something much nicer than this. But I've got brackets holding it on up top, brackets at the bottom. You can see it's definitely flimsy, but once I mount the ECU, the fuse panel on it, circuit breaker, it'll kind of increase its rigidity and hopefully it won't, be flexing too much. But other than that, it's actually pretty decent. To kind of show what the idea is, I'll mount the ECU right here on the panel. I'll just drill holes into the panel here, put some rib nuts in it, and that way I can bolt these down. Again, this will help with the rigidity. I'll put most of the weight towards the bottom, and then the fuse box is going to go somewhere up here or over here, and then circuit breaker, and then the positive battery post is going to go somewhere up here. But once I start adding stuff, it should look pretty good and should start to strengthen this a bit. I'm going to go ahead and take this off again, then I'm going to start marking all the holes that I need to drill, and then I'll start cutting and drilling. All right, I got my panel all marked out. Got the holes here for the ECU. Got the X here because I need to cut out a big hole for the fuse panel to come up through, and then there'll be 4 holes drilled. Over here is the circuit breaker, and then up here is the positive battery post that comes from the fuse box. All I gotta do is just basically drill these holes out, cut a big hole there, and bolt it back in, and then bolt all the components up to it. All right, I got the panel all done. Everything's mounted. I got my battery post there, fuse box mounted, circuit breaker, ECU. It has stiffened up quite a bit with everything mounted on there, so that's good. Again, this is just temporary. Everything is just eyeballed, so nothing's precise. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the car, mount it up, and see what it looks like. All right, the panel is for the most part 99% done. Got everything mounted here. This is what it's going to look like. The engine harness is going to come through the hole up there. It's going to come down, connect to the ECU down here. This is the fuse box, and then these are the wires coming out of the back of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull everything off again, and then I'm going to paint this maybe with a truck bed liner to see if I can get some more rigidity out of this, and also just to clean it up a little bit. But that's pretty much it for this part. Now I can move on to relocating the battery, and it's going to end up going back there. All right, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. In the next video, it's going to be relocating the battery to the back, running all the cables. And then after that, it's just going to be continuing to put the dash in, modifying the dash and all that stuff. I'm looking to hopefully have the car running by the end of this weekend. So there's going to be a ton of work put in just a few days. Again, just breaking it up into a whole bunch of smaller videos. So it's not just one really, really long video. Until then, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Until then, I will see you guys in the next video.